Hey, what's up? It's Holden. It's DC hanging out with you on this Friday afternoon. We got baseball underway right now. We got baseball going on tonight. SO mofos. Draftcheat is with us today. I don't know. Draftcheat, what am I supposed to say to you? You know, you would have been fine. You picked a great pitcher yesterday in Corbin Burns. You did. Unfortunately for you, you celebrated too early, and then you deleted your tweet being braggadocious. And then Lance Lynn went out and just shoved, dude. So listen, you're just going to have to deal with the shit you're going to take today. It's going to be in the chat. It's going to be in the chat. I'm going to let you off early. I had to talk about this. You know, I was like, should I just kill him? Should I let him go? Title expects me to just run you over because of the horrible things you said to him yesterday. But you know what? I'm going to be the bigger man today. I'll give you my PayPal later. Title. Actually, you know what? Send the money to Title, and Title will send it on to me. Guys, I'm going to ask you in the chat right now. Should I be nice and let DC off? Or should we hammer him? Now, with that being said, can I ask you a question, my friend? And by the way, I like DC, okay? Yesterday, it was a little overboard on Title. I felt bad. He's like my son. I'm telling you, DC, you don't mess with my son. Anybody else you could have messed with. But why'd you delete the tweet? Why would you delete that?
Well, I thought if I deleted it, maybe it would kind of reverse the karma. So the people that, if you didn't watch the show yesterday, the bet was, I had two bets with Title. One was just raw fantasy points, Corbin Burns versus Lance Lynn. Burns was fantastic. I think he put up 31 DraftKings points. The team squandered the win for him. Lance Lynn's game was delayed, so he started later. And then, finally, when the game was going to start, I was worried because I was thinking I was going to win this bet. I also had John Gray on a point per dollar versus Lance Lynn. Gray was pretty awesome, especially considering he's pitched in Coors Field and he was much cheaper than Lynn. So I was getting a little worried that the White Sox game was going to be postponed and I wasn't going to win these two bets. So finally, they're like, oh, the game's going to start. And I quote tweeted it and said, I think I tagged Title. It's like, hey, PayPal in bio. And then the White Sox game started. Lance Lynn struck out the side in 12 pitches. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go delete this and then I'll be all right. But the damage had been done. The karma had set in, and Lance Lynn pitched a complete game shutout. I think I turned it off in the fifth inning. I knew my fate at that point, and I'll be sending out a PayPal shortly here.
Yeah, it's 50-50 on smashing you. I think I'm gonna let it go today.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday I had to do the same thing to JSU. It turned into a somber show. Our basketball show is just very somber. It got awkward.
That's never good.
You know what? I'm in a good mood. Let's just move on from this. I can't believe I'm doing this. Let's just move on to this. And let's go win people some money today. And that's about it. Okay? Is that okay? Are we okay with that?
That sounds good to me.
All right. Stop. Don't start calling me a pussy. Everybody, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it, So we're just going to move on. But you're going to pay pretty soon, right? This is not a big T thing where you're going to hold off on paying people for the bets you lose.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's get into pitching here. So, DC, there's a few guys that really stood out. I'm just going to give you the list of guys that I like today. Wheeler, Musgrove, Morton, McCullers, and Maley. Holy crap, that's 4 out of the 5 start with an M. Wheeler, Musgrove, Morton, McCullers, Maley. Who would you take out of that pot? Who do you like from that list of 5 guys I just gave you?
Yeah, I think close calls on pitching today, which, isn't always the case. Oftentimes there'll be 2 guys that I think stand out above the rest. You could add, you didn't have Plesac in there? I didn't. I think he's at least in play. Probably not where I'll go. I think Zach Wheeler, did you mention him?
Nope.
He's in there. The M, the guys, McCullers, Musgrove, Maley for the Reds there. All good plays. So obviously, if you're watching the show, you probably kind of know that our objective is to narrow it down into, the 2 or 3 best plays. My 2 guys right now, lineup's kind of rolling in, so we're getting some idea. Charlie Morton, you get a little bit of a discount for him on DraftKings at 7,900. His results in the first start weren't outstanding, but the underlying metrics look really good for him. Talked about Morton a little bit with Uncle T on last night's pod. And then I'm leaning Joe Musgrove, who was fantastic in his opening start. Gets a Texas team who they are more dangerous for sure against right-handed pitching, but still just a ton of strikeouts in that lineup. Waiting to see if the roof's going to be open. I imagine it will, which isn't great for Musgrove. But those are the two guys I'm kind of leaning. I think McCullers might be the most popular guy. I'm not sure. I honestly think the ownership's going to be pretty spread out tonight.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm just looking at it. Here's the deal. We've got teams on the slate tonight, like Toronto struck out more times to start the season than they ever have in the history of their franchise. That's been a long time. So Wheeler's going up against an Atlanta team, striking out 10.67 times a game. That's 24th. Musgrove's got Texas, 23rd at 10.5. Morton, Philly, 22nd. McCullers is just taking on Oakland. And then Maley's interesting. Talk to me about Maley a little bit here. For Cincinnati, going up against Arizona, not afraid of this lineup whatsoever. Dude has a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about him. What should I do with Maley tonight, DC?
Yeah, I think he's definitely in play. So he's cheaper than these other guys that we're talking about, $7,500. He is the lowest price guy on DraftKings, at least, that I would consider. I would kind of cut off my options there at Tyler Maley. Like you mentioned, great stuff. Power fastball, splitter, and cutter, I believe, his three pitches. It does rely on that fastball, but Arizona, not a good offense. They lost Ketel Marte, by far their best hitter. He's going to be out at least for a while. Won't be in there for sure tonight. And yeah, Maley looks good. I think in general, these Cincinnati guys, they kind of are like partnership with Driveline, who is like the pitching company that kind of, helped Trevor Bauer take a leap. And so a lot of these guys, you see their stuff has improved. You see velocity gains, spin rate gains. So I think a lot of these young Cincinnati pitchers, TJ Antone, he's in the bullpen right now, but he's another guy that just has kind of incredible stuff. And Maley, I think he's going to take a step forward here. So yeah, $7,500 for him. If you need the savings, I have absolutely no problem using him tonight.
Yeah, I must say, I'm just looking. I think there's a lot of options, to be honest with you.
There is. There's no question. Yep. Especially for a 6-game slate. I can make I don't know, if I was playing a head-to-head, there could be 5 or 6 pitchers where they would pop up, and I wouldn't say, "Oh, that was a dumb play." You know what I mean? Like you can go a lot of different directions, even in cash games tonight for sure.
Okay, so Aaron Hicks just hit a home run, and shocker, here it is, Rich Hill. Oh, JJ, we already hit the bet, baby. We already went over the total for the first 5. You're back, JJ from the bet side. By the way, if you don't have the bet side, you just lost money because you didn't tail the bet today from JJ. Joey Works on fire. We went undefeated yesterday. Get Bets is the code. So you already have a sub, add the bet side for $20. You don't have a sub yet. Maybe you play $1 games. You're saying you don't got enough money. You're a freeloader and everything. Take the $80, go get our site. You get the bets for free for the first month. So go for it. Run Pure Sports, runpurebets.com. Also, here's the deal. I was told by somebody very important, okay? I already threw pitchers out, Joey Work. Wheeler, Musgrove, Morton, McCullers, and Maley. I mean, why don't you listen to the show, jabroni? Although you're on fire too, so I'm not going to pick on you too much. Anyways, we can't give out swag anymore for the likes. It's against the law, I suppose. So here's the deal. If you like DC, hit the like button. If you don't like me, hit the like button. It's very simple. Yeah, right? We'll all be good. We'll all be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're a little somber now. Come on, DC. Let's go, dude. It's over. The animus is over. We're all good.
Listen, when you got to send a PayPal to Titletown, you're gonna have a little bit of a somber day. It's just what it is.
God, man, you got to get out of this, DC. You got to get out of the funk, buddy. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna bounce back. You'll win some money tonight. I mean, you trolling on Twitter. You trolled Title. It just didn't work out one time. Next time you troll, and it'll work out for you. I'm trying to pick you up instead of shit on you.
We'll get it back on the show. I'll get that money back.
All right. Yeah, no, you won't. So, anyways, we got hitters now. Let's get to the hitters. And again, if you like DC and you feel bad for him today, hit the like. That's all I'll say. So offense, and we'll start at catcher like we normally do. before we get, first of all, this is a dog doo-doo catcher here. All we got is Real Muto, maybe Darno, and if you want to save money, you can go down to Alejandro Kirk. He's facing Heaney tonight. And I'd love to roster Wilson Ramos, but he's better against the lefties, and I'm not putting him up against Plesac. So, DC, give me a couple of catchers you're considering tonight.
Yeah, like you said, very, very thin position. I love Real Muto in general. I don't want to play him against Charlie Morton. That matchup is just too tough to pay $5K. For Real Muto, the second best hitter on this slate, probably Travis d'Arnaud, but again, much prefer him against the lefty. And, I don't really want to pay $4,600 for him. So right off the bat, you're kind of removing a couple guys. I think, like you mentioned, you do want to save here if you can. And I think you can. So Alejandro Kirk, I haven't seen a Blue Jays lineup yet. Not out yet as far as I see here. It would be either him or Danny Jansen in the lineup for the Blue Jays. I think whoever plays there is a pretty good play. I really like the Blue Jays in general. Playing in Dunedin, really good hitter's park. It's like a spring training facility, so the dimensions are pretty small. So I think the Blue Jays have a really good chance to hit a few home runs against Heaney and the Dodgers bullpen. Angels bullpen. Heaney just gives up a ton of fly balls, especially to right-handed bats. So I do prefer Kirk over Jansen. We'll see who's in the lineup, but either guy I think is a decent play. Kirk, definitely the superior play. I know I was on him a few days ago. He disappointed, but he's going to hit. I don't think there's really any question about it. Maybe it starts tonight. And then the last guy, just looking up lineups here. Yeah, Martin Maldonado. I do like him against lefties in general. Hitting ninth for the Astros, obviously not ideal, but, it's the catcher position. There's just not a ton of good options. He's fine. And then I guess the last guy that I would consider, again, assuming he's in the lineup, Victor Caratini. He's off to a hot start for San Diego, 2,900 on DraftKings, and gets maybe the best matchup. Arihara for the Rangers, not any good at pitching.
Yeah, I was looking at Maldonado just because he's going up against a lefty. Minaya struggled a little bit, but I mean, the guy just doesn't hit for power. He just doesn't do much of anything is the problem.
Yeah.
So Maldonado's kind of out of the pool of trust here. I suppose Alejandro Kirk. I'm a little concerned about facing Heaney tonight. I know the team totals in that Angels Blue Jays game is just astronomical. 5.69 implied total for the Angels, 5.31 for Toronto. I don't know if I want to attack him tonight. Do you see yourself attacking Heaney really at any position?
Yeah, I think
that's Toronto.
Pretty much all the Blue Jays are in play. You want power. Right-handed power is what you want against Andrew Heaney. Blue Jays got a lot of it. I mean, Jansen, Kirk both have enough power to go yard, especially in this matchup and in this hitting environment. Obviously, Vladimir Guerrero's off to a great start. Lourdes Gurriel, Teoscar Hernandez. You can go up and down the lineup, and I think there are very, very strong plays on Toronto. That's certainly backed up by this 11 total that we're seeing. So Heaney does miss bats. He can get strikeouts, but when he's not striking people out, he's giving up hard hit fly balls for the most part. That's what you want, obviously, for DFS. So, yeah, I'm pretty high on these Blue Jays right-handed bats.
The Blue Jays right-handed bats. So we'll get into them. Again, that was the rundown for catcher. We do have a question in the chat. Who are the pitchers that we liked again? Because somebody was on the phone and he wasn't listening, which is all good. I mean, you could just go back in time on the show and do that on YouTube. But just I'm feeling very nice. I'm happy today.
Yeah, we can rank them for the people.
Let's rank them. Let's go. You give your rankings. I'll give mine. What's your rankings for the pitchers today?
I'll call this point per dollar, what I expect point per dollar kind of projection from DraftKings, DraftKings pricing. I'm going 1 Charlie Morton, and I actually think you'll get him at a little bit lower ownership. So he's probably my favorite play. 2 Musgrove, 3 Tyler Mahle for the Reds, 4 McCullers, 5 Wheeler, 6 Plesac. So 6 starting pitchers that I'm considering in that order. Once again, that is Morton, Musgrove, Mahle, McCullers, Wheeler, Plesac. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we both have the same pool basically. Musgrove's number 1 for me. Wheeler's number 2. Do you think the matchup is going to get people off of Wheeler tonight? And I threw a bet in on the bet side too from this game. Do you think people stay off of Wheeler? I mean, he crushed the Braves. I think he had 10 Ks in that last.
He looked amazing.
Is he like what? Is he the third or fourth pitcher on the list? I'm just hoping people stay away from him because he's facing the Braves.
I think they might, although obviously 39 fantasy points against him in that first game, complete domination. I did look into Wheeler to see if there were any like tangible changes from last year where he actually wasn't a huge strikeout pitcher in general. I didn't see much. I mean, he was throwing gas in that first game, but he was throwing gas last year too and didn't get a ton of strikeouts in general. This is a little bit, I guess, contradictory to say because I do like Morton, who's also facing the same team he faced in his first start, but I don't love that the Braves saw Wheeler just this last time out. And I think I really do feel like Charlie Morton is a better pitcher than Zach Wheeler, just, in general. And Morton looked good to me too. I mean, his velocity was fine. So yeah, I just prefer Morton over Wheeler. We'll see on, where ownership ends up. Obviously Wheeler, a little bit more expensive, although I don't think the cost is super prohibitive tonight. What does Vegas expect? I think they have the Braves slight favorites here, which maybe would be surprising to some. But yeah, I'm on Morton as my number one guy here.
Okay. So I'll go Musgrove, Wheeler, Maley. I mean, if he's going to be your SP1, I will definitely put him in the mix for Charlie Morton. Again, this guy, ever since he discovered spin rate, he just turned into a terrific pitcher.
Yeah,
that's how things are going right now. So, Morton's got to be in the pool. So we got catcher out of the way too. So that's good. And Steve Anthony in the chat says that the roof's going to be open in Arizona, according to the D-backs website.
Oh,
so what does that do for you?
In Arizona, he said the roof's going to be open?
Yeah.
So it's going to be 90 degrees at game time there at that point. The ball's going to be flying. So that would make me a little bit less interested in Tyler Maley for sure, just because the ball's going to be flying. We'll see what Arizona rolls out there for a lineup tonight. And then, we'll get to stacks, but I really like the Reds, and that's going to further increase my interest in the Red stack tonight. So two minor changes there. Wasn't considering, the Arizona pitching or anything like that.
Okay, very good. Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, and thank you, Steve, for throwing that out there. You got it from the website, but that's right. I mean, if the roof is open tonight, I really am a little afraid of roster and Maley. So there's no doubt about that. Alex has a good point. Charlie Morton might be worried about that whole spin rate thing after what's happening to Bauer. Well, here's the thing with Bauer, though. Okay, and I've talked to his agent Rachel Lubin, and she came out and said something about like legalized pine tar. I mean, he basically put a target on his back. When you poop on Major League Baseball like this, and listen, they deserve it. They deserve it. There's a lot of hypocrisy from the players and the commissioner and all these people. But you come up, your agent comes up with a shirt, legalized pine tar. What the hell do you think is going to happen? Seriously. Yeah, Bauer, fine. I think you're good for the game. I love it. I love that you piss people off. But don't be surprised when you're the one getting singled out. And yes, Charlie Morton probably learned his spin rate too. He's probably got a little ticky tack on there.
Yeah, it's like if you're begging for attention, don't be mad when you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're, I don't know. It's just, of course, he's basically said that what he said was the only way that I know how to increase spin rate without increasing velocity, and he didn't increase his velocity, is to use foreign substances. And then all his spin rates spiked through the roof. Well, this is what you get. So I think they took a couple baseballs out of the game of his last start. They said they were marked up. I'm not really worried about that with Charlie Morton. It doesn't seem like that's a guy that they're going to come after. His spin rate's been consistent for the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I'm not concerned about that at all, really.
I did not take Rachel Luber to the workbench. No, I honest to God don't think I have a shot with her. She's a college gymnast. This is Bauer's agent.
Yeah,
she's a college gymnast. She's loaded. She could probably have 3/4 of the baseball players out there. So I got no shot. I can be honest about that. Yeah, I would love to, but no chance of that happening. Anyways, let's move on. We now have the first base position. So are we targeting Arihara today? Or do we fade the Padres just because they're going out in Texas, and it's just not a good hitter's park.
I think it will be today if the roof's open. The weather there, or whether or not the roof's open, makes a huge difference. Obviously, the main reason Texas has a roof is because it's too hot to play baseball there every day. And so, like, today, it's not, it's going to be like 80 to 85 degrees, I think, but probably, cool enough, I guess if you want to use that word, to open the roof. So if it's open, I do have more interest in these San Diego bats. I have interest in them anyway, frankly. Arihara, I just don't really see much from him at all. I think there's a couple stacks that really stand out to me, San Diego being one, and then, actually a couple, San Diego, Toronto, and Cincinnati, probably the three that I'll end up listing on the playbook and in my core plays later today. So yeah, I'm in on San Diego. I've been on Eric Hosmer, who, I don't know, kind of has a bad reputation, but he's off to a good start this year for sure. 1,200 OPS almost. So yeah, I like these Padres bats at first base. You can go a number of different directions. I see a bunch of guys that I like. Hosmer, Freddie Freeman, if you want to get different, right, and go against Wheeler, who we both think might have some ownership. Shohei Ohtani against David Phelps. So this was supposed to be Steven Matz starting, but it looks like they're going to go with kind of a bullpen game, I believe. So if that's the case, Ohtani looks good. Vladimir Guerrero looks good. I mean, same game, Jared Walsh. There's, 6 or 7 first basemen I think you can make the case for tonight.
If you guys need updates on whether or not the roof is open in Texas, I cannot recommend at Ranger Blake enough. He's their spectacular media relations director. Goes from Boston out to Texas. First of all, he's a wonderful human being. Second of all, he's the guy that's going to post it. That or at Globe Life Field. So those are the two that I follow, or at least, that I follow trying to get the information from. So usually whenever they have it, that's when the news comes out. So Ohtani's really standing out to me tonight.
Yeah.
I know it's on, the other side. We're not with the, it's not the Toronto side. He is going up. Phelps is just going to be the opener. So, and what is it? They're going to throw, what's the kid's name out there? The funny name. God damn it. What's his name?
It's not Matz, right?
Hold on. I'll look it up right now. Zoik. TJ Zoik.
Yeah.
You all right? So you got Phelps opening and you got Zoik coming in. Shohei tonight, I think, is a guy that's definitely going to be in my pool. No doubt about it. Outside of that, I think I'll just take some leads from you guys. Big Daddy Vladdy or Little Daddy Vlad Guerrero. Don't sleep on him. I mean, the guy, he's finally coming into his own. He lost a little weight. He's pummeling the baseball. I think, you know what, DC, I think this is where Vlad puts it all together and really busts out this season.
I think so too. Yeah. A couple home runs already. And like his biggest thing is he hits too many balls into the ground, right? His launch angle is really low. Obviously something that he's working on changing, but facing a guy like Andrew Heaney really helps that because Heaney himself gives up so many fly balls that I think it'll help Vlad elevate the baseball here. Listen, Vlad hits the ball so hard. The hitting environment in Toronto or in Dunedin, Florida, where Toronto's playing now, is going to be so good that if Vladdy hits a fly ball off of Heaney, I bet it's going over the fence tonight, and he's going to have a good opportunity to do that. So first base position so strong. Like we talked about Ohtani, who I also really, really like, but you can play him in the outfield. And so I would want to maybe get in 2 first basemen if you can, and playing Ohtani in the outfield looks like kind of the easiest way to do that. So probably the direction I would go there on DraftKings, on FanDuel. Ohtani's an outfielder, so you can play, essentially 3 first basemen. Ohtani, you could play a first baseman at first base, obviously, and then you can play one at utility too. So super strong position tonight. Not always the case with first base, but it looks really good on this particular slate.
Okay, very good. So here we go. We got the last 15 minutes. They're coming out with a whole bunch of news here for Texas, because I think that is going to be some important news that we come up with. Globe Life Field will be closed for Friday's game.
Okay. So I still like the Padres bats, not quite as much. It's a bump down for them for sure. And then that kind of, like, for me, it was close between Musgrove and Tyler Mahle. But if this information is correct, where we think the roof will be closed in Texas and open in Arizona, That solidifies Musgrove over Tyler Mahle for me at SP2. My SP1, of course, being Charlie Morton tonight.
Okay, very good. Anything else at first base you want to get into?
Not really. Slow start for Joey Votto, but I do expect him to come around soon. I think you'll get him lower ownership than most of these guys we mentioned. And then, Jared Walsh, another guy hitting really well for the Angels. Gets that good matchup against the Blue Jays. So, yeah, just a ton of options at first for sure.
All right, second base we'll get to in just a second. Want to remind everybody right now, the special we got going on, if you haven't already signed up for Run Pure Sports, do it, and you'll get our bet side for free. See, Joey Work, him and JJ are on fire now. Both of these guys, Joey's giving out free picks in our chat right now. And I'm telling you, stop giving out free picks, Joey Work. You're making people money. If they're not subscribers, we want them to be subscribers.
So behind the paywall.
Get bets. I mean, I thought you were a sharp businessman, Joey Work, but you're acting like a jabroni, my friend. Come on, get it together, dude. Have you ever met Joey Work or talked to him?
Yeah, we do the MMA show on Saturday mornings whenever there's pay-per-view, and then we did a couple of baseball preview videos as well.
He's a good dude. He really is a good dude.
Nice
I like
guy.
him. But stop being a jabroni, Joey Work, and giving away free money. Sheesh, man.
Get with the program, buddy.
Are you running over there? Second base. I'll just start with your guy, Cronenworth, Jay Cronenworth. Yeah? Is he in the pool?
Absolutely.
Of course he is.
He's been a little cold recently, but I'm sticking with him.
He's been a little cold. Yeah, he's been cold to start the season. You're sticking with him, and everything's cool. That's good. So who do we like tonight? Altuve got going last night. That was good to see. Of course, Toronto, Marcus Semien, we'll find him at the top of the lineup. If you want to save money tonight, I do wonder if you can go all the way down to Josh Van Meter, if you would even consider doing that, going with an Arizona bat tonight. But those are basically the guys I'm looking at right now. Altuve, probably the chalk. Who's your pool at second base?
Yeah, I think both guys up top look good. Altuve against the lefty, you always like that. Sean Manaea, certainly not a pitcher that I'm scared to target with right-handed hitters. Marcus Semien, I think, is an outstanding option against Andrew Heaney. Again, I've talked about those right-handed Toronto bats. I really like those guys. Semien should be in the leadoff spot. For the Jays, Cronenworth, of course. We'll see if Josh Rojas is in there. He was a guy I was really high on to start the season. Horrible start for him, and he's been out of the lineup, I think, the last couple of days. So I think he'll be back in there. And, again, I do like Tyler Mahle as a pitcher, but I wouldn't mind Rojas if you want a little bit of savings. Further down, Jonathan India. Again, I'll talk about Cincinnati more when we get to stacks, but I really, really like the Reds tonight. Widner pitching for Arizona had a good first start, but I don't see much possibility of long-term success for him. So I do expect the Reds to do some serious damage off of Widner assuming the roof's open like we think, in what'll be probably the best hitting environment on the slate, or at least close to it with Dunedin where Toronto plays. So yeah, I think Jonathan India, probably the cheapest I would go. Yeah, if Van Meter's in there in the lineup, like you mentioned, I think he's a decent option too.
Okay, very good. Hold on one second here. All right, Joey Work. I'm just saying, don't give the picks out, dude. And Zach Williams makes a good point. If the picks turn into money, then they get a subscription. But I don't know if that's how people are going to spend the money, though. So, Joey, come on, man. You're so good at this. You're so on fire. If they want your picks, go get the site. Go on Run Pure Bets. You need more subs, man. I love Run Pure Bets. I'm in there in the Discord with you guys more than I am on the DFS side. I'm just trying to help you out, Joey Work. That's it. My goodness, my friend. Good. We're done with second base. Third base. All right. Jose Ramirez went absolutely bonkers last night, and he gets to face Julio Teheran. So we haven't talked much about Cleveland, if I remember correctly. Their offense stinks, but they're going up against a gas can tonight. So maybe you could talk about Ramirez, and not only Ramirez, like how crazy is it to roster a Cleveland stack tonight? I haven't looked into it. I'm just thinking Teheran, maybe we should. 5.5 implied run total.
Yeah, can certainly do it. I mean, Teheran's been a guy that we've targeted in DFS for years now, especially with left-handed bats. But luckily for us, for Cleveland, most of the guys that you want to play from Cleveland do swing it from the left side. So Jose Ramirez obviously leading the way. Eddie Rosario hitting cleanup tonight, not far behind. Cesar Hernandez out of the 2-hole. We didn't really talk about him much at second base, but you could certainly play him if you wanted to. Yeah, I mean, Jose Ramirez kind of clearly the top option for me. It's a loaded third base position. It really is. But I would put Jose Ramirez number 1 by a decent margin over these other guys. Just matchup so good for him. Obviously, he's swinging looking good early on. 5,700 on DraftKings, expensive for sure, but I think there's enough value to get to him if you want to. So not a must play because there are other good third basemen to roster. But for me, Jose Ramirez kind of does stand alone if you can afford him at 5,700.
We'll get into stacks before we're done. But if I forget to talk about Cleveland, please remind me because I really want to talk about Cleveland today. And even Joey says he's on it. Joey, why don't you just come on the show, dude? Seriously. Hey, Captain, will you send Joey Work a link to the show if he wants to come on? I mean, I'm talking to him here through the chat. He might as well come on and give us his thoughts on baseball. But where are we going? So we got Ramirez, Moustakas. Is Moustakas in play?
Yeah. Yep. You would be my number 2. Again, love the Reds. Want to target Widner. Moustakas looks good early on. Great hitting environment in Arizona. He's got pretty much everything going for him here. Bad bullpen in Arizona as well. So I think if Cincinnati knocks Widner out of this game as quickly as I think they should be able to and can, they should tee off against a really bad Arizona bullpen. So, yeah, I love Moustakas. 4,100 on DK. FanDuel price. I think he's relatively inexpensive over there, too. Yeah, 3,500, so fair price point. So, yeah, Moustakas way up on my list. And then I don't think I want to go too cheap here. Ramirez, Moustakas, the first 2. And then Machado. Again, like targeting Arihara. A little bit of a slow start for Machado, and I do prefer him a little bit against lefties, but fine matchup here, of course. And then last guy would be Alex Bregman back at home, where he's much better with that short porch and left field. Good chance of going deep off Manai, I think.
Okay, guys, listen, we're at 85 likes. I can't give stuff away for the likes, so just be a good person. Since you like the content, hit the like button. That'd be nice. 150 again would be nice. We do this show for free for you. Maybe you know what, DC? I don't know if maybe we need to put this behind a paywall if not enough people.
I think now that we can no longer, incentivize with giveaways, we can incentivize with punishments, right? Like if we don't get enough likes, we'll put it behind the paywall.
That's always good. It's a wonderful parenting tool too.
Exactly. Yeah. Threatening. That always works.
So I'm going to be your daddies out there. I threaten you. You do it, or we're going to put this show behind a paywall. Don't threaten your kids. We don't want that. Good question. And I'm getting you some stuff from the chat here. Rendon ? To me, the most underrated player in baseball. Just about as good as Arenado defensively, offensively, a super duper star. Tonight, I don't have much interest in Rendon. I probably won't have any Rendon, to be honest with you, unless you're going to talk me into it, DC. What about Rendon?
I mean, he's a fine play, obviously. It's Anthony Rendon. He's a fantastic hitter. The matchup's good enough. You want to play Rendon, I have no problem, but we can't just list off every good
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like,
no, hey, good point. I forgot to bring up the weather in that Cleveland game. We got about 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left field.
Yeah.
So maybe that makes an anemic Indians offense a little bit sexier.
Certainly gives a bump to Jose Ramirez, who we like anyway. So,
yeah. Listen,
again, Rendon also in a great hitting environment. Fantastic player, like you mentioned. You want to play Rendon, go right ahead. He's not, you're not going to see him really on my teams. I'm only playing, I think, maybe 5 to 10 lineups tonight, but Rendon probably won't make the cut for me.
Twatty Lottie's in the chat. What up, Twatty? How you doing, buddy? Wilmer Flores day, but he's not on our slate, unfortunately. Love playing Wilmer Flores against the lefty. That's just what you do. And then you throw Darren Ruff in there, and he just hit a home run. Big T's happy about that.
There you go.
Third base is what we just did. So shortstop time. Of course, you like Cincinnati, you like Toronto. So we go Bichette, we go Eugenio Suarez. Those are kind of the guys that just stick out. So maybe you could talk about those two guys. Who else would be in the pool? Like, is this a night at shortstop where we even bother paying way down?
Not way down. I think I'm spending here. Bichette, Suarez, like you mentioned, tremendous options. Carlos Correa against Sean Manaea. Correa looks like he's on a mission. Contract year for him. just blistering the ball early on this season. He's a really good play tonight. Josh Rojas, again, not even sure he's in the lineup. If he is, I think he's probably the last guy I would go to. I don't see anyone below. Yeah, anyone below Rojas. Don't love it. Willie Castro, I guess, is fine at 4K, but pretty much I want to get one of Bichette, Correa, or Suarez, I think, on most lineups, with maybe Josh Rojas as a backup middle infield option there.
Okay, I like that. What about Hae-Sung Kim? If you're playing cash games and you just want to pay down at the position, I don't know, maybe you're paying up a pitcher, I think that's a fine punt. I'm not going to use him in tournaments, but I think for cash games, it would be fine.
Yeah, if you need it. I mean, kind of big things were expected from him coming over from Japan, I think, or maybe Korea. He hasn't hit, though. Hasn't hit so far this year. Didn't hit in spring training. I just want to see something out of him, especially when you're choosing him over these just proven studs at the shortstop position. It's kind of hard for me to feel comfortable paying down there. But matchup's good, and he does come over with the expectation that he's a good hitter. I've watched a lot of his at bats, and it's not super inspiring of confidence. So I'm probably going to wait to see it from Kim before I go there, but I get to play if you need a savings at shortstop.
Okay. And then we had a question in chat. Well, we're going to get to the outfield right now. We can talk about Eddie Rosario in just a moment, but let's do it. I mean, Mike Trout off to a terrific start now. There's just, I love this. You got the primo bats here in the outfield. You can make your choice. Trout, I mean, it's never easy getting in the lineup. He's 5.9. Yeah. But I'm going to try and prioritize getting him in there tonight. It might be a case where I'm choosing between Trout and Ramirez when it comes down to it. I don't want to have to play a guy like Kim to fit both those guys in the lineup. And I already told you I like Ohtani quite a bit. So Trout, Ohtani, a little Angels mini stack might be on top for me. What about 5K and above? We'll start with DK here. You got Yordong, who went deep yesterday. He's facing a lefty today. Will Myers, Castellanos, Bryce, Acuna, Trout, any of these guys 5K plus?
Yeah, Trout would be my top option here by a decent margin, and Castellanos, I think, second. I'll have some exposure to Yordan Alvarez. I almost always do. Lefty, not ideal, but Manaea not some shutdown lefty that you really need to worry too much about. So I would rank 5K plus division. Trout, Castellanos, Alvarez. Myers is good. I would mostly use him if I'm stacking San Diego. I don't think I would use him as a one-off. And Acuna and Harper, just contrarian plays, right? If you want to roster somebody against the chalk pitchers that has obviously tremendous upside in any matchup, you can play both of those guys. In terms of projection-wise, they're just not on the same level as the other 5K outfielders. So yeah, Trout, Castellanos, Alvarez in that order for me when you're spending up at outfield.
Is that a plan you think you're going to have tonight?
I haven't finalized too many rosters yet just because I was waiting on lineups, but I would think probably most have one of those guys in my lineups. Just going to run out of salary too quickly if I get more than one of them.
Joey Work, just come on the show, dude. Come on the show already. Captain, seriously, send him. I guess a UFC show at 5. So what, Joey Work? You got 10 minutes to come on right now. Don't wuss out. Come on, Joey Work. You're sitting here in the chat all day. Come on the show. Talk about a couple of your picks. Come on, bro. 10 minutes, and then you can plug all your stuff, your hot sauce, your Run Pure Bet site. Come on, man. Do it, Joey Work. Suck it up, buddy. So we go down from the 5K guys. I already told you about my love for Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. Joey Works talking about Eddie Rosario, how he loves Rosario tonight. I mean, the more you and I are talking here, it's like I just want to attack Julio Teheran so much.
Yeah.
He's at this point, he's throwing 88 mile an hour fastballs. He stinks. I mean, it went all downhill. His first start, he didn't get rocked against Cleveland, but now they're seeing him for a second time. So that's why I'm going there. Give me your take on Rosario, and then just run down the rest of your outfielders at this point, DC.
Yeah, you have to love Rosario. I think a mini stack with Rosario and Jose Ramirez makes a lot of sense. You can throw Cesar Hernandez in there as well. There's a ton of outfielders here, though, who are good plays in this 4 to 5K range. Shohei Ohtani, absolutely love him tonight. As you mentioned, we'll both be riding that train. Teoscar Hernandez, 4,500. Maybe he's going to go under the radar. I hope so, because I love the matchup for him against Heaney. Rosario, great play. Jared Walsh, fantastic play. So, yeah, those 3 guys, Ohtani, Teoscar, 4 guys. Ohtani, Teoscar, Rosario, Walsh. I guess I would bump Rosario above Teoscar, but I really like both guys. And then Walsh, I think, 4th place. But, again, I could absolutely see myself making an outfield entirely from this 4 to 5K pool on DraftKings.
Who's hitting a home run tonight is the question in the chat. It's going to be Tyler Naquin. So I'm just putting that down right now. Actually, I got to go throw that prop in because he's one of my guys. Yeah, anytime he's facing the opposite-handed guy, he's a lefty. He's facing Widener tonight. I get it. You know, maybe the ball isn't going to fly as much as we'd like it. He's hit a home run in 3 of his last 4 games.
I mean, the Reds are just on fire right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think Naquin in general, anytime I see him here, and he's at 3-2 on DraftKings. Like, I'm plugging him in. I think Rosario right now, my guys would be Trout, Rosario, and Tyler Naquin. Those are the 3 guys standing out to me right now. Now, I don't know if I haven't built these lineups yet, but what's your take on Naquin? Am I off here?
No, yeah, I haven't done a deep dive on him, but
well, I mean, I'll just say this again. He's kind of the splits guy. What he had 43 DK points 2 games ago.
I mean, I didn't even realize he's got 4 home runs already. Like, he's been
damn.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. Nuts. Gets a great matchup. Yeah, I'm in on Tyler Naquin at what is he, 3,200?
Yeah, he's 3,200, man, and he's 3,300 on FanDuel.
Yeah, great play tonight, no question.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he doesn't go off tonight, he's also not going to kill you. Sure. But there's no way I can turn away from that upside. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Paying way down, though. Is Naquin the lowest that we can go tonight? Ben Gamble at 2.8 if you want to target to run. There's not a lot going on down there at the bottom.
There really isn't. Josh Naylor, I think he's hitting 6th with Cleveland. Okay. He's got some pop, but I would much prefer to get up to Naquin at 3,200. Other guys in this 3 to 4K range, leading off for the Red Sox, Jesse Winker. He's missed a couple games due to non-COVID illness, but he's a tremendous play. Joey Gallo, if you don't have Musgrove, I like. And then my guy Akil Baddoo, of course, 3,500 against popular Zach Plesac. And there's a guy, Joey Work. He's on the show.
Oh, he's here. Joey Work.
Joey.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
What's going on? Just a couple of minutes from you. I just want to pick your butt. Stop giving out free picks, man. We need more people on the bet side. Look at that shirt. Run Pure Bets. Get bets. Sign up for our side on the sports side. Get the bet side for free for a month. Good God, thank you for making me so much money last night, Joey Work.
Yeah, a little 7-1 run last 2 days, and and I know Holden doesn't like to hear this, but I did 2 YouTube videos, and they were both on the Run Pure Bets YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe because I gave them all out for free.
Why wouldn't I want to hear that?
Because I gave it for free. I gave it to the people for free.
I forgot. This is my favorite part. DC, I don't know how many of you've seen. He goes, "What's up? What's up, everybody? Got some MLB picks. What do you like tonight, Joey Work, on the DFS side? Give me your picks. Who do you like tonight? What's up?"
I'm definitely going to look to stack the Indians, and possibly, depending on if the roof's open or not. But it sounds like it's closed in Texas. But I was looking at San Diego as well. And then pitcher-wise, I'm going with Tyler Mahaley. Arizona's depleted. They're losing their best player. I mean, that team has looked like dog crap, and they were playing in Coors, and they couldn't score runs.
Yeah, he's my 3. Listen, tonight I'll only make 2 lineups. That's just where I am on Friday. I got a lot going on, but I'm going to have a hard time not having it. I think in one lineup, I'm going to go Wheeler Musgrove and then probably Morton Maley in the other one. I think that's just my pool right now. That's where I'm sitting. And if you're on Maley too, the dude he throws cheese, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. I know everybody can hit fastballs, but he's got some good stuff, so I don't mind him. That's all we needed, buddy. I know you want to plug your UFC thing that's coming up. If you're in UFC,
I got a UFC Modestas Bukauskas, the Baltic the Baltic Gladiator. He actually just fought almost 10 days ago. He'll be on my show in a half hour on the Rump Your Bets YouTube channel.
All right. And D-Rock's in the chat right now. What up, D-Rock? Now, Naquin's one of my guys, buddy. I did not read your article yet. I promise you, the second we get off this, I'm going to go read your article, buddy. I got to read D-Rock's stuff. All right. That's it. That's all
right. All right. Sorry for stepping on your toes, DC, but Holden, you know.
All good, man. You're welcome anytime.
He doesn't care. He said he liked you too.
Thanks, Holden.
Everybody likes Joey Work. Well, probably some people don't like you, but I like you. Everybody else here likes you.
Yeah, I know. You got like a hard on for me. You talk about me every show, telling people like,
all right,
making up fallacies.
It's there.
You know.
It's definitely
it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. We're gonna get these winners today, and let's keep this streak going.
You know when you have one that kind of you could see the outline in your jeans.
Yes.
Bye, Joey.
I'm out. Peace, guys.
Thanks for doing it on, Joey.
Get bets, everybody. Get bets. We're down to 8. Everybody took their likes. What the hell is going on with this? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Yeah, you got to love Joey. All right, let's do it. Let's do our stacks here, DC. We got somebody in the chat saying Cleveland's going to be the chalkiest stack tonight. Are they going to be the chalkiest stack tonight? I think outside of Ramirez and Rosario that they are not going to be very chalky.
We'll see. I mean, the total's pretty high. Obviously, I think a 5.5 team total for Cleveland, and cheap guys, right? So that generally means a lot of chalking. And I think Jose Ramirez, Rosario, like oftentimes you'll see when two plays are so popular, people will just kind of fill in the rest of the stack around them. I'll just throw these guys in there, whatever, hope for the best. So I'm kind of limiting my exposure to the top end Cleveland guys, but I get it. Certainly a matchup you want to target there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me the rest of the stacks here. So I'm thinking you're Cleveland, Toronto, Cincinnati. Anyone else?
Yeah. Yep. Those are the three. The Angels too.
The Angels too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
go with those three, but man, it's kind of a haves and have not situation where there's a lot of good pitchers. We talked about 6 pitchers that we like. And then the other 6 pitchers are all guys that I want to target, basically. So it's like just one of those weird slates where, sometimes there's only a couple pitchers you like, only a couple stacks, but there's just a number of different directions you can go on this slate. I think you'll see that reflected in ownership. Like if you're making your lineups, I wouldn't worry too much about ownership tonight because I think it's hard for me to predict who's going to be exactly the most popular stacks, hard to predict who's going to be the most popular pitchers. So I guess in general, I think it's a good night to just kind of go with the guys that you think are going to perform the best because I don't want to change my plays based on ownership when I'm not even sure exactly where ownership's going to land.
Okay, very good. Kids are watching, Loosh. I mean, are they your kids? You should know better. You should know better. You watch this show. You should know better if it's your kids. If there's other kids, they're going to learn anyways. Don't worry about it. I got a 3 and a 6-year-old. I know what's going to happen. They're going to have filthy mouths just like me, dropping F-bombs at 8 years old. This is what happens. This is the path of life. Children need to be indoctrinated a little bit earlier for bad words these days. So that's where we're going. Yeah, D-Rock, pub your article in the chat. So make sure everybody gets to it. That's a subscriber.
Yep.
Okay, D-Rock, if you get a link or something, put it in the chat because I do want to promote it. And I got to go read it right after this. I do read your article. I have not gotten around to it just yet. Okay, so that's the stacks. No. Cincinnati. You've been talking about Cincinnati. So Naquin's my guy. What about Johnny India? Where the hell did this guy come from? Jonathan India. Any interest in him?
Yeah, absolutely. I like every player in the Reds lineup 1 through 7. And even Tucker Barnhart you could play. So, yeah. Reds are way, way up there for me, especially now that we think that the roof's going to be open in Arizona. And yeah, India, I think I mentioned him at third base.
Okay. Isn't he second? He plays second base.
Second base, yeah. Yep. Second base, yeah, 3,500. Okay. He's a great play, hitting 7th. But
I think so.
When the lineup's so deep, like the Reds have, and you think the stack's going to go off in general, I don't care as much about the lineup positioning.
But yeah, and he was a third baseman. They moved him over to second. Got plunked in the head. And now he's just crushing, man. The Johnny India. Get to know the name. Not
Absolutely.
Johnny Utah. Do you want to give your kids are watching, Jay Reed, but they're only 8 weeks old. You got twins, Jay Reed? Congrats, dude. 8 weeks old? No, they're not going to understand any of our language. Plus, we keep it clean on this show. The show is being played in the children's hospital. I warned the nurses. Derek, way to go. Hey, kids in the children's hospital. I hope you guys are feeling good or better today. Let me know what I could do. You know what? What children's hospital are you at, Derek? I'm going to go send them some swag. They're going to have some Run Pure swag. I will not send them my dirty shirt, but I'm sending your kids. If you really are in the children's hospital, you tell me which hospital it is. We're going to send some swag out there. Okay. I got some baseball cards I can give them. I'll just send a whole goodie package to them. All right. The children's hospital, horrible place for kids to have to be. It makes me sick to my stomach. So, I might be an a-hole, but I actually have a soft spot for some things once in a while.
Got you.
Not the worst person out there. Home runs. That's it. It's Naquin for me. Who's your guy?
Home runs.
I mean, if you just got to go look it up, don't worry about it then. Lori's Children's Hospital?
I'm just trying to find some low-owned guys.
Okay.
I like the Naquin call. We'll stick with the bottom of the Reds lineup. We'll go with Jonathan India. We both like him a little bit. Who can we get low-owned that's going to go yard? You know what? I'm going back to my guy, Akil Baddoo, against Zach Plesac. I think you'll get him at extremely low ownership. Maybe the public is starting to catch on a little bit how good this guy is, but at RPS, we've been on it since early on. And sticking with it, 3,500 on DraftKings. He's got power both ways, great hitting weather in Cleveland. And I'm not super scared of Zach Plesac. So I'm going Akil Baddoo, 3,500, going yard in that Indians and Tigers game.
Lori's Children's Hospital I grew up in Chicago. I've never heard of it, but I haven't lived there in like 25 years, so I get it. Okay, we're gonna get you guys. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna send something up there. I don't know if you work there or not, Derek, but we're definitely getting some stuff up there. I don't even know if they'll give it out. I don't know what they're gonna do. I'll send them something, and hopefully they do it. Baddoo. Hey, we got Baddoo. We got India. We got a bunch of good rookie. I like this rookie class already. Baddoo was not like a highly touted prospect, was he?
He had a bunch of injuries. He was in the Twins organization, and he ran out of options, so they had to let him go. And so he has to be like on the Tigers roster all season long, or else another team could claim him if they tried to send him to the minors. But he wasn't really expected to be an everyday player, but he's just hitting so well that they got to put him in the lineup.
Yep. And Johnny India was the 5th overall pick a couple of years ago, so he's got a nice pedigree too. Yep. All right, we're out of here. I think we're done.
Yeah.
It's D-Rock. I'm sitting here talking to D-Rock, thinking that it's somebody else. I already asked D-Rock if he was D-Rock, and he said yes. D-Rock, I'm just going to send it to your house, and maybe we can get some other stuff, okay? I'm going to send a goodie package to your house. We'll get Big T to go to FedEx one of these days. He'll send it to me, and then we'll throw it out there, and we'll make sure we get everybody. And I love D-Rock. I love it, man. I really hope your kid gets better very soon. He's a wonderful person. He did the show, what was it, last week, earlier in the week with us. So You're taking Gorman Thomas, Twatty Lottie? 90% of our audience has no idea who Gorman Thomas. Do you know who Gorman Thomas is, DC?
No, should I?
Are you 40? You're not even 40, are you? What are you, 35?
No, not quite.
33?
35.
You're 35. Yeah, Gorman Thomas. I'm trying to think of he was just a big power hitter with the Brewers back in the 80s. So that's why Twatty's bringing him up. We're just throwing out random guys. Okay, we're done. I'm slow today. I'm slow every day, Brett. I mean, seriously, if you watch the show, I go over positions 4 different times. I have no idea what they're talking about. And I swear to God, I'm listening. It just goes in through here and out through the other side. Okay, we're done. Am I not merciful, DC? Am I not merciful?
You were merciful today. I appreciate it. And I will have core plays and playbook up over at RPS in the next hour or so. And hopefully have a good Friday.
Will you come back on Monday, just your own cocky, contrarian, snarky self, please? I'll
try. I'll do my best. Yeah.
I'm not making any bets with you anymore. Title, don't make any bets with him, even if it's free money. I can't handle somber DC, man. I can't handle it. I am going to send it to him, McLongrod God. I'm going to absolutely send something to D-Rock. Don't you question that, buddy. Come on, McLongrod. Nice name too, McLongrod. This big bro. All right, Captain, thanks for running this behind the scenes. DC, anything else you want to say before we get out of here? You want to shout out to anybody? Like
no shout-outs. Yeah, looking forward to a good Friday night of baseball.
All right, I'm Holden. Keep running pure. Have a wonderful weekend. And then you keep running pure. And I'll be on with JSU today, like normal, 6:15 Eastern time, behind the paywall for our NBA show. The Wood Show's coming up in just a little bit as well. Now I'll say it again. Keep running pure.